Hi everyone! Welcome to the fourth grade math channel of Sun Devil Learning Labs. My name is Miss Houston, and today we're going to be talking about metric capacity. So this week we focused on metric length and weight. Now we're going to be talking about capacity. So here's our objective for today. You guys can go ahead and say this with me. I can apply conversions to metric capacity and relate it to real-world examples. And the only materials that you're going to need are a piece of paper, a pencil, and then if you want, you can have an eraser too. So here's our question for today. What is capacity? When you think about capacity, it's how much a container can hold. So if I have some water right here, this bottle is filled with water. How much can this bottle hold? That is the question I'm trying to answer. If I filled this with chocolate milk, how much chocolate milk can fit in here? How much water can fit in here? How much orange juice can fit in here? It's how much a certain bottle or container can hold. I could even have a bucket and we could figure out how much water I could put in the bucket. We could figure out how much water I could put in a bowl. We could figure out how much water I could put inside of a spoon. Anything that can hold liquid, that would be the capacity. How much liquid can it hold? How much can that container hold? So that is what capacity is, and we're going to delve into some examples. So when you have metric capacity, as we've talked about, there's a difference between US systems and what the rest of the world uses. In the United States, we use things such as like ounces and cups. They don't use that everywhere. Rather, they use milliliters and liters. So we're going to talk about what is the difference between a milliliter and a liter. So a milliliter is super duper tiny. If you had a dropper, or think of like a little syringe, and you did 20 drops from that, it's like 20 little dots of liquid, that is how much a milliliter would be. It can also fit in a syringe. So you know when you go to the doctors and they give you a shot and they put a needle in you, and that needle has like a vaccine or something in it, the amount that can be in there will be a few milliliters. So a milliliter can fit inside of a syringe. It can fit inside of a dropper. It is very tiny. Now, when we talk about a liter, the bottle that I had before, this is 1 liter. So this size of this bottle, the amount of liquid that it can hold is exactly 1 liter of liquid. This is approximately equal to 4 cups. So if you took 4 cups of water and you poured it in here, it'd be about the same thing as this 1 liter. I don't know, maybe when you go to the store, you might see a 1 liter soda bottle. Most times soda bottles come in 2 liters, so they're like about double the size of this. But if you cut it in half, they also do sell 1 liter soda bottles, and it's about the same size here. So the question for today is, what is more, a milliliter or a liter? A liter is going to be more, right? Because this bottle here is definitely a lot more than something that can fit in a syringe or 20 drops from a dropper. This is much more, right? So we want to remember, a milliliter is smaller than a liter. If you see our picture here, we also have, here's a milliliter. See how it's like a little drop of water? And then we have a bigger bottle next to it, 1 liter. So again, a liter is bigger than a milliliter. Now, what's ml versus L? What do these acronyms stand for? ml means milliliter, and L is just liter. This is how we write out the acronyms when we're trying to solve like math problems, or if we're writing like we have 6 milliliters of water, you would write 6 ml. If you had 12 liters of water, you would put 12 L. It's just the label that we use when we are writing these answers down. Now, if you guys see, I have a picture of a beaker over here. Beakers are used in science. In science, we do have to do very precise calculations in order to get accurate results with our experiments that we are working on. So that's why in science, we use milliliters and liters. Like I said before, milliliters are very small. So it's easy to get more approximate measurements when you use a milliliter instead of a liter. So this entire beaker right here is 1 liter. This entire beaker holds the same amount of water that this bottle does. Now I know it looks a little bit smaller in the picture, but it's actually kind of a wide beaker. So as this bottle is taller, that beaker is wider instead. And if you can see on here, we know that this entire beaker is 1 liter big. But see how it's broken up into milliliters? Like down here is 100 milliliters and up here is 1,000 milliliters. So we have concluded that 1 liter is the exact same thing as 1,000 milliliters, right? So let's see, let's apply this to some math now. So if we're doing conversions, as we just saw looking at that beaker, 1 liter is the same thing as 1,000 milliliters. So if you have 1,000 milliliters, that would be equivalent to one of these bottles here. Now, if we have 2 liters, it's going to be 2,000 liters, or I'm sorry, 2,000 milliliters, right? Because in order to have double this, you need to have double the amount of milliliters. So if we have 3 liters, we would have 3,000 milliliters, right? So we're going to type that into our text box. Now, what about 8 liters? If you had a bottle that's 8 liters big, how many milliliters would comprise of that? How many would be on the side of the bottle? 8,000, right? Because 8 times 1,000 is going to give us 8,000 milliliters. Just like that. Now let's do the opposite. What if we start with milliliters and then we go to liters? So if I have 1,000 milliliters, that is the same thing as 1 liter. If I have double the amount of milliliters, how many liters do I have? I have double the amount, right? So 2,000 milliliters is equivalent to 2 liters. Now what about 3,000? 3,000 would be equivalent to 3 liters because it is 3 times 1,000. Now let's try 8,000 milliliters. 8,000 milliliters sounds like a lot, right? What if we divide this number by 1,000 though? That'll give us how many liters? So 8,000 divided by 1,000 is 8 liters. So our final answer is 8 liters for this one. Perfect. So now that we have gone over some equivalent conversions, let us move on to some fill in the blank answers now. As we worked on this on Monday, these are called bonds, this type of question. So the top circle, I'm going to spotlight it for you guys. This circle is our total answer. We want to figure out what number plus what number equals 2,500 milliliters. So I'm going to take my text box and we're going to write out an equation. So we want to say 2 liters plus question mark milliliters equals 2,500 milliliters. Now we need to remember our conversion factor. 1,000 milliliters is equivalent to 1 liter, just like that. This is our conversion factor, so I'm going to circle this. That way we remember what it is that we are talking about over here. So let's go back to our equation on this side. We can't go ahead and solve this directly, right? Because we have different units. We have liters, milliliters, milliliters. We want all of our labels to be the same. So I'm going to convert it all to milliliters because our final answer is in milliliters. So let's figure out 2 liters. 2 liters. How will we write this in milliliters? Well, we know 1,000 milliliters equals 1 liter. So if we have 2 times that, 2 liters, we're going to have 2,000 milliliters, right? So we're going to write 2,000 milliliters plus question mark milliliters equals 2,500 milliliters. Now that this is all in milliliters, we can solve, right? 2,000 plus what equals 2,500? It's going to be 500, right? So our final answer is going to be 500 milliliters, and we are going to write that right here. And that is the number that is going to go in our text box where we have the question mark. Let's try another example together. Here's another fill in the blank. So we have 4 liters, and then we have 2 liters and a certain number of milliliters. So let's write out our conversion factor. 1,000 milliliters is equivalent to 1 liter. Remember, this is what we need to remember. So let's write our equation now. 2 liters plus question mark milliliters equals 4 liters. So we have liters, milliliters, and liters. We can't solve this directly because we need to convert all of our factors first. So what we're going to do is we're going to convert this all to milliliters because we want to figure out what this is in milliliters. So we want all of our labels to be milliliters. So 2 liters converted to milliliters is 2,000 milliliters because we multiplied it by 1,000. And then we're going to put plus question mark milliliters equals, and then 4 times 1,000 is 4,000. So we're going to write 4,000 milliliters. Now let's solve this. 2,000 plus question mark equals 4,000. Well, 2,000 plus 2,000 is 4,000, right? So our question mark is equivalent to 2,000 milliliters. Perfect. So we have found our answer. I'm going to type in 2,000 milliliters in our text box. Now, if we're looking at this though, I asked for this in milliliters, but let's think about if I had asked for this in liters. If I asked for this in liters, we see we have our answer 2,000 milliliters. Well, we know that 1,000 milliliters is equivalent to 1 liter. So if we divide 2,000 by 1,000, we would get an answer of 2, right? So we can also say that our answer is 2 liters. So our true answer is essentially 2,000 milliliters because I asked for the answer to be put in milliliters. I'm just showing you guys another conversion, how 2,000 milliliters is equivalent to 2 liters down here. I want you guys to see that connection right there. Perfect. So let us move on to a word problem then. We're going to talk about some soda for a birthday party now. Benjamin brought 5 liters of soda to his friend's birthday party. So remember, this is the same thing as 1 liter. So Benjamin brought 5 of these to the birthday party. If 3,500 milliliters of soda were drank, how much soda is left? So here's our equation. We have 5 liters minus 3,500 milliliters equals question mark. So let's solve this. We want to put all of this into these same terms, right? Oops, let's go back. So we have 5 liter. We want to put all this in milliliters, right? Because milliliters is our smaller factor. We can always convert up liter. So we're going to put 5 liters is going to be the same as 5,000 milliliters because 1,000 milliliters is 1 liter. So we're going to put minus 3,500 milliliters equals question mark. Okay, so let's set up our equation now. We're going to do standard algorithm. We have 5,000 minus 3,500. So 0 minus 0, 0, 0 minus 0, 0, 0 minus 5. We can't do that, so we're going to have to borrow from the place value to the left. So we're going to take this 5, turn it into a 4, and this 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5, and 4 minus 3 is 1. So our final answer is question mark equals 1,500 milliliters. Perfect. So we can either leave our answer just like this and say that this is our answer, or we can also convert it to liters. Now we know that 1,000 milliliters equals 1 liter, and we have an answer 1,500. So if we take 1,000 out of this, we would have 1 liter plus 5,000 milliliters. I'm sorry, 500 milliliters, because we don't have enough milliliters to make another liter. So this could be either of our answers. Now, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to cross this off. I put one too many zeros here. It's only supposed to be 1,500. So if we're looking at this, we can either have 1,500 milliliters or 1 liter 500 milliliters as our answer. Both of these are good answers to have, and either of them will work for this word problem because I didn't say answer in milliliters or answer in liters. I just said, please give me an answer. Perfect. So we have one more word problem. I would like you guys to try this on your own. So go ahead and pause the video right now and then unpause when you're ready to come back to the answer. So go ahead and pause. Perfect job, guys. Let's go over our answer now. We have that the coaches needed to bring water for a soccer game. If one coach brings 7,500 milliliters of water and another coach brings 12 liters of water, how much water is there in total? So this is an addition problem. So let's convert all of our units to be the same first. So we're going to convert down to milliliters. So we're going to have 7,500 milliliters plus 12,000 liters, because 12 times 1,000 is 12,000 milliliters, equals question mark. So what is 12,000 plus 7,500? It's going to be 19,500, right? So our question mark equals 19,500 milliliters. Now here's another way of doing this. Instead of converting to milliliters, we could have converted this to liters from the beginning. So here's our first answer. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this another way. So we're going to say 7,500 milliliters. How many liters is this? This is going to give us an answer of 7 liters, 500 milliliters, right? Because we took the we took the liters out of it first. And then we're going to add, we're going to add 12 liters equals question mark. So here's our equation right here. So if we add this, we need to add the liters first. So what's 7 liters plus 12 liters? 19 liters, right? And then we have 500 milliliters left over, so we're just going to leave that. And that is our question, equals our question mark. So both of these can be our answers. I'm going to circle this one, that way you guys can see it a little better. So we can either have an answer of 19,500 milliliters, or we can have 19 liters and 500 milliliters. If you convert these are both the same thing, because remember, 19,500 divided by 1,000 would give us 19 liters and then 500 milliliters as a leftover. So that's why both of these answers are the same. It just depends how you would prefer to write them out. Wonderful job. Let's move on now. Here's our question. This is our big question, our discussion question for the day. What is the difference between a milliliter and a liter? So, what is the difference between both of these units? And then how do you know to use one rather than the other? Go ahead and pause the video and talk with someone about this, whether it's a friend, family member, your dog, cat, anyone. Just go ahead and talk about this real quick and then unpause when you're ready. So, now that you've gone over some ideas of how to answer these questions, let's go over it together. First off, I asked, what is the difference between milliliter and liter? So we found that a milliliter is way smaller than a liter, right? Remember, a milliliter is like a few drops of water. This is 1 liter. So a few drops of water is so much smaller than this entire bottle here. And then how do you know to use one rather than the other? Well, we know milliliters are smaller than liters. So if we are measuring something smaller, we're going to use a milliliter. If we're measuring something bigger, we will use a liter for it. And here's our overview for today. So our objective was, I can apply conversions to metric capacity and relate it to real-world examples. We did that, right? We talked about a milliliter versus a liter, and we also have this graphic here for extra help, and that way we can look at it again. And then we also talked about, we did fill in the blanks with the bond problems, and we did word problems. We talked about coaches bringing water to a game and a little boy bringing some soda to a birthday party. So overall, I think that we met this objective today, and you guys did a super wonderful job. So I hope that you all have a great day, and I'll see you again for our next lesson.